2016, and this is a recording of my son on January 27, 2012. I was visiting him at CDC, and as I mentioned in my previous recordings, that I had created a third page on Facebook. It's called the audio tapes of all of Marquis Tainsley is suffering abuse and neglect. And I do have two other pages, but this one will be featuring my son in his own words, telling me about um, his abuse, his neglect. He doesn't say the words abuse and neglect, but you know, his suffering, how he's being treated, and the different things that they had done to him or allowed residents to do to him. Because my son's been assaulted by staff and residents. And that's why I titled it The Audio Case of Marquis Kingsley, His Suffering, Abuse, and Neglect. Because in his own words, you'll hear him tell me things that indicate um, his suffering, the pain they put him in. Um, and on this particular audio tape, um, like I said, it was a visit at the state of Ohio facility that they had him in. Um, and at that time, he was there voluntarily while they were fixing our walls. Um, but in November of 2012, after he had returned home, and then he went into he had his own apartment, and they went ahead and legally committed him to the same facility, which I didn't want them to do because he was abused and assaulted and neglected in every kind of way when he was there during January 2012 to March 2012. Just giving you a background. And this tape is actually um, recorded, like I said, January 27, 2012. And on this tape, you'll hear Marquis telling me how scared he was of the residents that he's seen over the day program. That the day program was very scary, very noisy. He didn't like seeing all the residents with slobber all on their mouth. One had went up to him and touched him, and my son was scared of that. He also tells me on his audio tape that he didn't like the food, and he even said, "I don't like the food. I like the food that I had at home." And I asked him, "What did he eat then?" He said, "Just a banana." But my son is autistic. He's high functioning, but he's autistic. He didn't really belong there. And even their former state of Ohio psychologist said that uh, he didn't belong there because it was for residents that were moderately retarded. My son is not moderately retarded. And this former state of Ohio psychologist wrote that it was for a low functioning level resident. And my son is high functioning. And he's autistic. He's not moderately retarded. But they still went ahead and put him there. And the micro cassette recordings, the recordings on the tape don't sound as good as my smartphone recordings. And I didn't start recording on that smartphone till I think January 2013. So all the recordings on the micro cassette, because I was recording on the micro cassette, you can hear them, but they're not as clear as they are on the smartphone. But you will hear this, and he talks loud. He doesn't shout, but he's not calm when he's in pain. And when he's telling me these things, because he's able to vent to his mother, and he has a right to vent to his mother. He knows I love him, and he's telling me how he feels, and you can feel the pain and anguish in his voice. That Mom, I'm scared in this place. Mom, this is what's happening. This is what, you know, how I feel and what I've seen and what they've done to me. And I used to get blamed for that. But when he's telling me this stuff, he's not at home with me. He's in an environment by other people and being mistreated by other people. But I'm the black mother, so you know they got to blame me. I said, so you're gonna blame me for him having autism and his reaction to it that you're causing. He's not at home when he's saying he's scared and it's too noisy. He's not at home. He's not scared of me. He loves me. As a matter of fact, he misses me. He desires to be back home. But I was playing for that. That's that racial overtone. Because you can go to these autistic threads and autistic message boards, and you can read, and because most of the people on there are white, and they'll say, well, when their son or daughter is having a meltdown, if they're hitting themselves, they hit them, they hit the walls, they hit. And Marquis never has hit me, except for one time. That's because another person was standing there making him upset. So my son was so upset because he didn't want to leave, and so he just kind of threw his arm out. And he never was a person that would hit himself either, or bang his head, maybe a couple times. But you got some autistic people that they have to wear helmets, and they wear them at school, they wear them at home because they're headbangers. And then you just go through the autistic threads, and the different aggression that they have. Because sometimes they can have verbal aggression, but when they have physical aggression, it could be property destruction. It could be them injuring, hitting themselves, banging their heads. They'll hit their parents, their siblings, um, walls. Marquis, he would do property destruction, like he'll hit a table or something like that. But I was playing for that. Like he was some unique monster, and I was the worst. And I said, these idiots don't know anything about autism, because if they did, if they wasn't, ignorant about it and racist, they would have never blamed me for it. They would never would have said, or like I said, they really, and that they just maliciously slandered me. And if they knew anything about autism and what it was about, and how to work with them, they would never really said that to me. But like I said, they have racial overtones. So there's a lot of parents and families with autistic individuals, and you could just read about it. And their children or sons or daughters, especially when they get in puberty, they can really start having very aggressive meltdowns because of the hormones during puberty. And they go into meltdowns, but they ain't being blamed for it. That's why I said I don't tell the world about that. I was actually blamed for my son, and they still say I escalated and stuff. I said, but he's talking about y'all, But he's not gonna be called about. He's gonna say, "Oh, mom, I was scared today." He's feeling very pain and anguish and hurt, and he's expressing it to his mother. He ain't talking about his mother. So anyway, here it is, and like I said, it goes to the audio tape page. Um, like I said, in his own words, you'll hear how he feels. This was January 27th, 2012, a CDC visit, so it was face to face. I have my son on audio tape talking to me on the phone, but they have put him through pure hell, and he's still going through hell. But Jesus will bring him back home, and he will live the life that God has destined for him to live. And me too, because I've suffered with him too. I'm a victim in this thing. That's why I told that sorry, evil, no good, unfit attorney. I said, but I'm a victim in this. I don't know why y'all think I love him less than y'all love y'all's kids. I love my son as much as you love your kids, or whatever you got in your life. So I have not really suffered like my son, but I'm feeling pain because my child is feeling pain. And then the things that, they have blocked me as a mother. I said, I want to spend time with my son too. So, and I haven't seen him since the last view that I seen of him was July the 8th, 2015. Last visit I had with him was March the 15th, 2015. So again, I did not get to see him or talk to him on Thanksgiving. Not at all. And I believe that's a violation of his constitutional rights, probably mine too. And it sure ain't uh, uh, upholding civil rights and human rights. I said, now this is the sick, evil, human scum that we got in our life. But, God talks about injustice. And when he talks about injustice, guess what he's talking about? You talking about all that scum that works in these courts, 8 to 5. These judges and magistrates, these sorry attorneys, court investigators, and just anybody in the system. They all, scratch each other's back, go along to get along, just like that court investigator. He wasn't going to find no fault because he's a coward and he wants to keep his job. So anyway, let's get to this, but they're real short. I don't, because I have long conversations with my son. Sometimes they're like 2 hours or an hour, um, and the recordings are that long. And because I actually record a whole conversation, and but I want just to get to the parts that he is expressing um, what he's going through. That's just what he's been through, what he continues to be through, been through. And I just thank God that my son is verbal and he's able to express his feelings. He does have cognitive delays and some deficits, but he's high functioning. And I'm just praising God for that. But here it is in his own words, January 27, 2012, about him being scared about noise. He was frightened by the residents that he's seen over the day program with slobber all over the face. I could believe it. They probably wasn't even there to, you know. And you don't put an autistic person in a lot of noise like that because they will go into meltdowns. I mean, they have sensory deficit. A lot of autistic people don't like a lot of noise. And it's just too much, just too overwhelming. So I bet he was having all kind of meltdowns over there. And I would talk to him because I got tapes of when I talk to the people that staff. I have tapes of that stuff. That's why it's out there. Any of the slimy, sick, evil attorneys that try to bring something out against me, because they can never say I'm slandering them because I got evidence to prove that I'm right. I don't slander nobody. I don't sit up and make up sick things about sick people. I don't have to, because the evidence is going to be there. The dirt and the corruption going to be there. You just have to collect it. You just have to make sure that you collect it, record it, or whatever you form of evidence that you're going to get. And I would talk to him about this because I said, he's here over day program. You don't take him over there. It was too noisy. He's autistic. You know what autism means. And that's why I said I know, and I have yet to meet anybody now that I think over the years and stuff that knows anything about autism, except for maybe a couple school teachers. So you don't take no autistic person over to the hospital, know nothing about it. Most of the police officers did, but a few of them did. Because a couple of times I would call the police, that when Marquis would go in meltdowns or something like that, just for safety reasons. So let me get to this because I'm looking at this. I said I better go ahead because I like giving backgrounds. The next thing you know, this thing will be like close to an hour or something. But anyway, so probably January 2013, you'll start hearing these recordings clearer because I think that's when I start using a smartphone to record. But these micro cassette tapes, and by the time you transfer them through, to get them online and stuff, they probably done got a little bit more, you know, less clear and everything. But again, I do have two other pages. The first one is Abuse and Neglect of Autistic Marquis Tanksy by the Government. Second one is Justice for Autistic Marquis Tanksy. And then this audio tape one, again, is the audio tapes of Marquis Tanksy, his suffering, abuse, and neglect. So um, I'm going to kind of add them slowly because I want people to have a chance to listen to them. I don't want to put like 5 or 10 of them all in one night and stuff. And it's I have to go through my tapes and listen and throughout the conversation because when I'm there, uh, me and Marquis, we used to talk about home and coming back home and things we want to do, but I would ask him. That's my child. I love my child. I'm gonna ask him how he doing, what's been happening. I care. I care about what's happening to my child, especially if he ain't there with me and and I'm not there with him, I ask him. And they would hate that. And they got to the point where they had him scared to even tell me anything, especially if they were around. But they have their dirty tricks. Dirty trick number one is try to slander mom and try to keep mom away. Dirty trick number two is try to break up our family because they try to separate. Was hoping that separation and the meds would make Marquis go off on me and because I wasn't gonna give up on him, but they thought maybe they can get him to not like his mom. I mean, it was a fantasy of theirs. Oh, if we can just you know, get where they're to be dysfunctional and he can't stand to see his mom and but then honey, he loves his mother and I can prove it. There ain't no slimy lawyer they got what I got. Because I got hundreds of audio tapes or recordings of my son telling me how much he loves me and how much hell they have put him through. Period. Ain't no debate. That's why I put this stuff out here. I don't have to worry about anybody saying, "Oh, you're slandering me," because it's all on tape and it's able to be backed up. Just like these pictures I have of my son. So that's another reason why they don't want me to see him, because it protects them. Because I'm an evidence girl. I'll get the evidence. I'll take the pictures, and they know it. They know it. But that's why I do it. Because when you deal with dirty, corrupt, sick people, that's how you have to do it. And when that trash is out of our lives, I won't have to do it anymore. But as long as this trash is in our lives, then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I get the evidence on them people. And it won't be hard to do because they're dirty. It's just like just making sure you get a vacuum cleaner and or broom or dustpan. There's the dirt, just collect it. So here it is, January 27, 2012, CDC visit with my son Marquis and him telling me about him being scared, about the residents scaring him because they had slobber all on their face, and he didn't want to see that. He also told me that he didn't like the food that they were fixing. He wanted to have food like he had at home. He's talking about my cooking, of course, and how noisy it was and how frightening that was. So here we go. So there you have it. The last bit was he was talking about the residents having slobber all over his face and it scares him, and he don't want to see that. Remember, he's autistic. They have very, very sensitive nervous system, so all the senses can be really, really oversensitive. Because a lot of people just think, oh, well, it's just audio or the noise, but it's all five senses actually that they can be very sensitive to, not just the auditory sense and stuff. So when you get my son can really get frightened by things that he sees. That's the sight sense, their taste, you know, touch, all of that, and it's really, really get them, I don't want to say freak out, but it can just really just kind of just residents slobbering. It scared him. It frightened him. It's just as frightening as him hearing all that noise. But then he started talking about it was too noisy over there. I'm going like, nobody knows about autism. Why in the world would you take an autistic person over there if you knew about autism? And that's why I say what I say. I said they can't. They were ignorant about autism, but you don't take an autistic person over into a room full of noise. It's going to overwhelm them and throw them in a sensory overload, possibly causing a meltdown. You just don't do that if you know about autism. He wasn't saying that because he wanted to say it. That's the way he felt because he has autism. He can't help it. He doesn't want to feel that way. But since he has autism, that's the way he felt. And they would put him in environments that you just knew they didn't know nothing about autism. And it was neglecting his needs. So my son's been abused and neglected in a lot of ways. You name it. Physical abuse, physical neglect, when they don't fix him stuff that he likes and stuff. And a couple of times, well, more than once, he's done told me, because I'll ask him, that's my child, I care about him, I want to know what's going on with him. And I'll ask him, ask him, and I still do to this day, what did you eat today? And he would tell me I had to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dinner because, they didn't fix the stuff that he liked. And I talked to him about that because I got tapes, audio tapes of me talking to staff, advocating for my son. I said, but he doesn't, I'm just concerned he's not eating, and maybe if you fixed it like this, or I know there's other residents that's probably on the unit, but, just to, I mean, we can't have him losing weight and stuff, but he's been neglected in so many ways and abused in so many ways. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, there you have it. So I thank you for listening. Look for more audio tapes. I'm going to introduce them slowly. And thank you for um, um, listening to the backgrounds. I always put a background in there. And just make sure that you go to the right page to hear these, because I won't be putting them on the other two pages. And I hope you and your family had a very happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a Merry, Merry Jesus. And